You might have heard that live shopping is exploding. And I have to tell you, I have been on Whatnot for a couple of weeks now, and I see why it is. Now, Whatnot is my sponsor, and they are the reason I got on the platform and checked it out. I'm glad they did. They made it easy for me. I'm going to make it easy for you. I love it. Whatnot is where you get great products without paying full price. It's that simple. I'm hooked on their live shows, too. You got to see them. They're so much fun. And I see why Whatnot has climbed to the top of the App Store. And listen, if you're selling online, or maybe you have a storefront and you're hoping people will find your listing or maybe walk in your store, Whatnot flips that, because on Whatnot, you go live and you sell directly to people in real time. And I may admit, although you didn't hear from me, I may have picked up a couple of power tools or so in the past couple of days. I'm just saying. Whatnot, it's the largest dedicated live shopping platform with beauty, collectibles, electronics, luxury, fashion, even cookies, and anyone can sell. In fact, people who sell on Whatnot sell 10 times as much as any other major marketplace. That's because you're not just listing products, you're building real connections with buyers. So whether you're shopping or you're selling, download the Whatnot app today and get free shipping on your first order. Just search WHATNOT, Whatnot, in the App Store and start scoring amazing deals. So I was whining to my wife the other day, said, I need new glasses. And she said, well, get some. I couldn't tighten them anymore. They were scratched. You know the thing, right? But I didn't want to go through the process because you have to make the appointment. You have to spend weeks to get them done. And you got to pay a fortune, right? That's real. But I did. I spent $500 on frames and glasses, and that was cheap. And then I ordered a pair from my sponsor, Zenni Optical, for $70. Zenni is an online eyewear shop, prescription glasses, sunglasses, blue light lenses, starting at under $30. You go to Zenni.com, you pick a frame, upload your prescription, and they ship it to your door. No appointment, no store, no upsell at the counter. And by the way, if you are saying, do I really need new glasses, or do I have to put up with one pair to do everything I need to do for the next 2 years? No, you can get what you want starting at under $30. And if you've never bought glasses online, don't worry about it. I haven't either. Zenni has a virtual try-on so you can see exactly how the frame looks before you commit to buying them, with no salesman looking at you saying, those look good, but these expensive ones would look better. No, you don't get that. I'm excited. I can't wait to get my Zenni glasses and tell you more about them. If your glasses are overdue for a refresh, now's the time. Go to Zenni.com/podcast and use the code podcast15 for 15% off your first order. The styles sell out, so don't sit on it. That's ZENNI.com/podcast. Promo code podcast15. Happy Friday. See, new theme music and the happies still work on a Friday, don't they? And oh, by the way, happy birthday to me. I'm celebrating a new life cycle today, and you can too. We'll talk about that.
I need a boost. I need a daily boost. I need a boost.
It is the Daily Boost. How you doing? It's me, Scott Smith. Thanks for stopping by today. We're going to stand up, take a step, and repeat the world's simplest success recipe. That's what you got to do, man. It's just, come on. That's how it works, right? Scott, what am I going to do? I need to be motivated. Well, stand your butt up. Just stand up and then take a step in the direction you want to go and just keep going until you get it. I'm telling you, it's that easy. Well, what direction do I go? Well, go that way until you figure out it's the wrong way, then go the other way until you figure it out. That's it. So welcome to the very simple Scott logic of the Daily Boost Show, okay? So a good amount of time ago, I think 25 years ago, don't quite know the date, but that sounds about right, I met a gentleman named Louis Gates in the Central Florida area. My first wife, was a Reiki healer, and she was hanging around Louis. He's a spiritual pastor. So I got to know him really well. And in the conversations I had with Louis, he taught me a whole bunch of stuff. Now, you know I'm not the most woo-woo guy on the planet, but I got some woo-woo in me. I'm a very practical guy. So if I'm talking about something, you can pretty well figure out that, okay, it's woo-woo, yeah, but I figured out a practical part of it. And you real woo-woo people say, it's all practical, Scott. You just don't believe. I know. I'll figure it out sometime, okay? But he taught me this, and the reason I believe in this is because not only have I seen it in myself for several times now, I've seen it in so many coaching clients I brought it to. And what's neat about it, we're going to talk about what's called a 9-year life cycle. And this is a repeatable cycle that happens every 9 years in your life. And once he introduced me to it, I began to see the pattern. And then I've seen the pattern, obviously, a couple times since I've known him 25 years. And I became a believer. And what's really cool about it is that, you ever get that feeling like, you mean I can do something different? I can change everything? Or maybe there comes a time in your life and you're kind of looking around trying to figure stuff out and you're thinking, is this okay? Well, it is okay. And it's built in. So the 9-year life cycle, let's start with it. I'll go through the years and tell you what will happen as you go through the years. And we'll start with year 1. And when is that? Well, it's the second you're born. It begins at birth and you start doing years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then you start over again. Okay. So I'm actually in the 3rd year of a new cycle for me. I'll talk about what that is in a second. Actually, for reference, the first three I talk about are exactly where I am right now. So when you begin a life cycle, and presumably, obviously, you need to be a little bit older to, if you're zero, you can't really think this way, right? But if you're my age or somewhere in between, you can. So year one is you making a decision. You decide what you want and you start asking for it. Now, in some cases, you decide that you want something different. You start asking for it, looking for it. You might have felt that. You've had a time in your life, a season in your life, and things, it's run its course. You're tired of it. You just want something new, something different. You're just growing. Things have changed. You start looking around. You start seeking it. You start asking for it. Hey, you can pray for it. Just help me figure this out. That's pretty much around year one. So obviously your focus is now going in that direction. Things are beginning to move your direction. In year two, the pieces begin to come together. And that makes sense too, because if you're now looking and seeking and asking, and you give it a little bit of time, because things don't happen overnight. As they begin to come together, you start to take notice of what's happening. Oh, wow, that's what I want to do. And I see I can do that based on what I'm getting, who I'm meeting, what I'm reading, what I'm studying. And your focus gets narrower, which it naturally does. When I talk about exploring the possibilities, that's what this is. When you explore and ask and look and seek, eventually something will get your attention and you'll get focused on it. Year three arrives. That's where I am right now. The resources you need begin to arrive. So I've gone through the first 2 years of my cycle right now, and I was looking around to do things a little bit differently. I've done this show a long time. I said, let's kind of change it a little bit. Even the theme music, things like that. The resources I'm looking to do what I want to do with, and you'll hear more about this here very soon, have arrived in my life. I'm like excited. I want to go. What do I do now? Well, for the next 12 months, we're going to see those resources just stack and stack and stack because I'm focused on them. I'm attracting them, if you will. Going to get busy. Year four. In year four, you find yourself moving toward your purpose in life, or the purpose for now in life, because purpose does change over time, just like passion changes. You're not going to have just one forever. It's going to change. And the reason you begin to move forward. You've been moving forward for a couple of years, but now you got the resources and things are actually starting to happen. Maybe you're building a business or something like that, and suddenly it starts to roll. You get profitability, things like that. Year five, reevaluation begins. So imagine you've looked around, you thought you had it all figured out, it started to go your direction, you got all the resources you need, and you began to move with purpose, and then you finally say, well, wait a second, some of this is not right. So you're going to get out what's not working, because there's a lot of stuff in there, a lot of clutter. You get out what doesn't work, and you keep what does work. And that's about midway through the process here. So the first 5 steps are there. What's number 6?
Study and play come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get the best of both worlds. Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
Year 6, you now focus on intensity. And the reason you do is because, like I said, you know what you want, you're doing it, it's happening, and you've cleaned out everything. So now you can focus, get down to some deep work. You're going to work with the resources you've decided that will benefit you, not everything else. You ever done that? You ever looked around and said, man, I got all this stuff I'm keeping up with. It's not really doing anything. I put it in because I was supposed to. In my world, it could be software, things like that. You start, that's not going to benefit me. So what I do is I just get more intense on my focus. I get lean. I get effective. I get efficient. Year 7 rolls around. You do this again. You take stock in things that no longer serve you, but this time it has a different meaning. You've been at it now for about 6 years, and you're looking around going, okay, well, this is kind of cool, but I'm starting to get kind of itchy. Yeah, that's all right. That's a long time, right? So you take stock. You're not going to quit. You're not going to move on. You're not going to do anything right now, but you're beginning to look at it like, maybe this doesn't serve me anymore. Year 8 arrives. Clutter? You get it out of here. It gets real important just to get stuff out of the way. It's almost time for your next cycle when you start clearing stuff out. If you find yourself clearing out a garage Or suddenly it's like, man, I don't need this. That's just getting in my way. I don't need it anymore. You are probably getting close to the end of a cycle. You're getting stuff out of the way. Because remember, when we started, we were looking for new and asking for new. And I can promise you this. If you're asking for new and you haven't cleaned up your mess first, you're just going to get more mess. Year 9 rolls around. And you explore and decide what you might want to possibly do in your next cycle. You're not really looking for it yet, but you're kind of thinking about it. You're kind of seeking it. I get a lot of people that come to me and work on that. They're not ready to commit to anything. They haven't said, I'm going to look for something new, but they're thinking, what if? So you get the point here. What's happening is you're moving in a nice trajectory, a nice pattern. So let me go through it again for you so you'll get this real fast, and then you can listen back again if you want to. Year 1, you decide what you want, you start asking for it. Year 2, the pieces come together, you narrow your focus. Year 3, the resources begin to arrive. Year 4, you find yourself kind of moving toward what you're doing with purpose. Year 5, you reevaluate a little bit. You toss out what doesn't work, you keep what does work. Year 6, you intensify your focus. You work with the resources that you have determined are to your benefit, nothing else. Year 7, you take stock, you look around, you see what's not working, you get even leaner with your machine. Year 8, you get some clutter out. What I mean, everything changes now. You're going to clean out the garage or stuff like that. I just want to change my life and throw some things out, have a garage sale. Year 9, you hold your head up and you say, I'm thinking a change is coming. I'm just thinking it's coming. And you start to shift your mindset a little bit. And you repeat again and again and again. I have seen this at least 2.5 times in my life. I can actually think back way before that, before I knew about this, and it worked as well. It'll work for you too. So think about that today, if you'd like to. Have a great, great, great weekend. And if you're traveling, be safe. Enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday. I'll be here on Monday. We'll be recorded all week long, so I'll be here. So please do stop by the Daily Boost.